Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, we have our 2K coach, Franky.
Kelly Olynyk's first game in Houston, 4 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, it's funny because when he played when they were written by COVID, he couldn't hit a fucking shot. So that is funny. That is actually hilarious. Wasn't he like plus? Doesn't he have like a 40 net rating on Houston? Net rating god, Kelly Olynyk.
Oh my god, man! He remembered how to. His first game was incredible.
You know, when he gets bought out, if and when he gets bought out, it's a guy that he should look at. I'm just saying.
I don't think they can go back to teams anymore.
Canada, shout out to C3 Suave for the Prime 3 months up for the Prime sub. Subscribe for 3 months. We appreciate that kind of love and support here on the podcast. J Buckets 102 in Twitch chat says, I hate this team. So we're off to a great start here. If you're listening on the podcast, I implore you to join us on twitch.tv/MIAHeatbeat for every single podcast pregame and postgame show. It's fun. You get in on the conversation. I think we're going to do like a vibe Sunday. We're going to vibe today. We don't get to pod a lot on Sunday afternoons. Today, we're just vibing. We're just vibing because the Heat have good players again. Victor Oladipo is going to play for this team soon. Things are going well. Let's ignore the losing streak. Let's ignore all that's out the window. Let's ignore that they struck out on buyout guy after buyout guy. Today's a vibe. Shout out to C Breezy Dub for the Prime sub. We love that. Franky, I guess we got to start of the news of the weekend. Fat Boy does not sign with the Heat. Fat Boy goes to the Nets. LaMarcus Aldridge is a Brooklyn Net. And it's kind of funny because they're collecting like the washed. They're going to have the most washed All-Star team ever, including their coach, who is also a former washed All-Star, a missing piece to the Lakers. I'm not upset about it. And I know that I've been feeling a certain way about LaMarcus Aldridge, but I'm not. To me, it's not a big deal that he's not here. It's like, whatever. It kind of like they could have used the body, but I'm not losing sleep over it.
Carla Tiana said that you scared him away.
Good. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think it's a depth thing. We could have used him just as another big man. We know the bench units sometimes squander leads and struggle to put up points. He's a guy who could attack a mismatch, so they can't switch as easy. As as washed as he may be, he can still post up a guy, hit that fall away, hit that tough mid-range shot, and he's probably going to win Brooklyn a playoff game. Like, how good is he going to be? It remains to be seen, but they definitely have talent. I don't know how good this talent is going to be in the year of 2021, but in 2015, this fucking roster would have fucked. This roster would have fucked, man.
I mean, that's a guaranteed championship.
Steve Nash could still give you like 10 minutes a game at that year. I think he was still playing that time. That fucking team would have fucked.
I mean, and I guess that's like my thing. Like, people are obsessed with names, right? And like Gorgie Dang was a better player right now, is a better player than LaMarcus Aldridge is right now. And like he should have been like the number one priority for teams, not LaMarcus. But LaMarcus is an angel. LaMarcus got the headlines. Gorgie Dang goes to the Spurs, and kind of a surprise move because usually like guys like that will go on contenders, right? Because you're bought out for like the rest of the season unless you plan to sign somewhere long term. You just say fuck it, I'll go try to win a team. I'll take a vet's minimum. I'm getting paid the contract I signed for anyway. Instead, he goes for a Spurs. That's gonna help their playoff push, and I like that for the Spurs because the Lakers are gonna be in free fall. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are missing time. They didn't get Kyle Lowry at the deadline, and they're free falling, and they're in like serious danger of getting into the play-in game. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, Dallas has the easiest schedule in the West. Like, they're coming, and they added Andre Drummond, but he doesn't really address a lot of their issues. So I thought that was like a sneaky, interesting move for them. So the Spurs right now are in 7th, and they have a really hard schedule. The Lakers are free falling. They're only 4.5 games out of the play-in, which is the Spurs. So Spurs are coming for that ass, and the Lakers aren't. It's looking rough out there.
Oh yeah.
Chat's clamoring for Boogie, so Chat wants Boogie. I got to be honest with you guys. I would have taken Boogie over LaMarcus just for the exclusive reason that I think Boogie's like a cool dude, and I would like to cover a cool dude. Unlike Fat Boy,
you wanted the fatter boy.
Yeah, I know, but DeMarcus is cool. Like, who doesn't love DeMarcus Cousins? DeMarcus is awesome. And I think that Franky, there's like a clear I don't know if they need another big. I'd rather them just kind of ride with Precious, because Bam, whenever minutes matter, Bam's going to be playing at the 5, and they're going to cobble together a power forward spot between Iguodala, Ariza, Butler, and Bjelica. And I would not be surprised if they play Bjelica at backup 5 for a lot of times. They were doing that with Olynyk a ton. You saw like nights where Precious lost his minutes. They were just going Olynyk as backup 5, and they were just really not. It was Bam at the 5 or Olynyk at the 5, and that was it, right? So I could totally see a world where if they don't trust Precious come playoff time, they go Bjelica as backup 5. Now, I think Precious needs to play. I think that you draft a guy, you draft this kid, you believe in him, you got to play him, and you got to let him work out this rough patch, because, I mean, he started the season really, really strong, and he hasn't looked good at all. So I believe in him. I think that they clearly believe in him. I mean, he didn't get moved ultimately. I know that they probably were, but they kept him. And now that they struck out on all these guys, if they don't sign DeMarcus Cousins or another big, that tells me that they're like, okay, this is what we're riding with, and that's what it's going to be. And I don't hate it. I guess I believe in Precious Achiuwa.
The thing about it is I'm gonna have to go back to Carla Tiana again, and she's right. Precious is not ready. Like I know what you said. He needs more time and needs to get developed and stuff. And the regular season is for that. But it's also time for us to win games. We're on a 6-game losing streak. We need to get out of that play-in game. We need to try to get home court in the playoffs, because this year the home seed is gonna matter. And you want that in that 4-5 matchup to be the home team, but it's also a depth thing. You say Bam's best position is the 5. I agree there, but if Bam is in foul trouble and Bjelica is way more of a 4 than a 4-5 guy, you really want that depth just to have a body, just to save Bam a little bit for the playoffs and not have to rely on him entirely getting beat up. He's got the knee issues already. You don't want to overuse Bam, and then when it's time to go playoff time and real go time, Bam's not 100%.
Listen, I'm with chat right now. I'm in on the Boogie move. Like I've said for a while, if they're gonna get a washed up big, I would get him. Just because I don't know, I like him. I like him more, and I just believe in him a little more than LaMarcus. And
what about your boy Dwayne Deadman?
So my thing with Dwayne Deadman is Dwayne hasn't played in longer than Andre and Ariza had. And the last time I saw him play basketball, it wasn't very good. Unlike Ariza and Andre, where Andre was like playing decent minutes in the finals, and Ariza looked good in Portland, right? So you're getting a guy that hasn't played for a really long time, and the last time he played, he didn't look so good. So we're really banking on that like time before that where he did look good, and that's where I'm just like, I kind of disagree with Nikias Duncan, our statistician and pun master. So like that's where I kind of falter. I agree with Carla Tiana. We're shouting her out a lot in chat. She's amazing. She's saying we need vets. And Kevin Arnovitz always says you need grown-ass men to win titles. And I love that because it's very Pat Riley, right? Like they love vets and they always go for that. And I'm just saying that like if they don't have other options, they can patchwork minutes at the 5. And I think that's all you need because Bam in the playoffs is going to play 35 minutes and you really just need to cobble together 13 minutes at center where he's not on the floor, which I also think that Spo's going to experiment going really small. I don't put that past him. I mean, they've done it before. They've used Jimmy at the 5 at times. It's not like I don't want it particularly for long stretches of time.
We saw plenty of the Andre 4-5 lineup.
Oh yeah, baby! In the finals,
and that's a big reason why we fucking lost because that lineup was ass.
Yeah. They need another big. I think that they need another big. Maybe you know what? I think in hindsight, I was a little tough on Fat Boy because I realized that if they don't trust Precious and without Olynyk, it's really tough. Now
you were just missing your Fat Boy. That's what it was. You were still salty. Your Fat Boy didn't come.
Yeah, my fat. Yeah, Kyle's here. If Bjelica can give them something, and if Bjelica can survive on defense, that's going to be good because I think that solves the position. I think that they can survive a couple minutes. If Precious is just not ready, they can survive some minutes with Belly at the 4. And at the 5, excuse me. And I don't know. That's kind of what it is. Like, if we're looking at the playoff run, like, that's it. He's 6'10". He can play the position. I talked to some Kings people to kind of, I watched a little bit of film, and I talked to some Kings people. Shout out to Brendan Nunez of the Kings Pulse podcast, one of our Blue Wire shows here. It's kind of picking his brain about what Bjelica does defensively. And he's like, listen, he's a smart basketball player. He has good measurables. He's not the fastest guy in the world, and he's going to get hunted on defense. But he's smart, and it's not a lack of effort, and he tries. And he goes, he looks bad. But he also added, I've also never seen Bjelica with 4 other good defenders on the floor because the Kings don't have good defenders. So let's see. I mean, they're not going to switch with him. They're going to use him and drop. And I think the bigs are not as responsible for rotating in Miami's defenses. Like, Kelly wasn't really the super rotator. Their wings do most of that. Yeah. So maybe they can get away with him being slow. I know that Miami has a rotation-heavy defense, but let's see. That's the one thing. Like, so he might play on Monday. That's the one thing I'm going to look at. I mean, like, how does his defensive rotations work out? Because I think the shooting will get there. I think even if, like, he's a good shooter. Like, I'm not worried about it. And Jimmy's numbers with him in Minnesota were fucking incredible. Because Jimmy with the stretch big is just awesome. That's just awesome, right? So, Frankie, like, for me, I look at, can this guy space the floor? And I'm curious if they'll even use him as backup 5 already in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a guy that they're going to use for the versatility on offense with the shooting and the passing. I know he's a bit of a playmaker. He's aggressive, taking it to the cup. I think he's going to develop chemistry with Bam real quick. He's a guy they'll probably use in dribble handoffs, pick and pop situations, spot ups. Defensively, definitely need to see how he holds up and how he can go from playing shitty minutes in Sacramento to real, playoff team trying to make a run for the Heat. I want to see his adaptability, because he's played for Thibs in Minnesota, so he's played for a good defensive coach. So I'm sure he's smart guy. He's been a pro player he came to the league at age 27, so he's been playing pro ball for a while. So I'm sure he'll be able to adapt head IQ wise. But we got to see how he moves his feet defensively, how he makes rotations. We're gonna miss Kelly's charges, man. Kelly took a lot of charges for Miami.
I think we're gonna see like how pretty solid Kelly was defensively this year. Like, we're gonna miss him. Like, he gave him some good defensive minutes. Not that he was like this stopper or anything, but I think that when you have a big that's get put in almost every play on defense, and when your defense is good and you're surviving, you're doing something right. Now, chat's saying Otto Porter got bought out. I haven't seen that. Could somebody let us know who reported that? Because I'm not seeing that on the timeline, and I didn't get the Woj or Shams alert. Chat saying that we should have a Stream Beat sticker at the bottom of the cup. Yeah, I'm drinking lemonade out of my Solo Red cup. It's a vibe Friday.
She's playing defense on Stream Beat, guys. Don't let him get away with this.
Stream Beat's bad. Okay, Frankie, I gotta ask. There's an important question here. And by the way, Bjelica's Bjelica. I think it's Bjelica, right? Not Bjelica.
I think you're right. Bjelica.
Bjelica. Bjelica's nicknames on Basketball Reference are Belly or Professor Big Shots. Which one are we gonna go with?
I'm going Belly.
I think I'm going Belly too, unless he hits a big shot. Then I'm tweeting out in all caps, Professor Big Shot.
I agree. I think the Professor
I'm
Big
very
Shot,
excited for
Big
that
Shots
time.
was Chauncey.
That was Mr. Big Shot.
Yeah,
not Professor Big Shots.
Professor
Big Shots.
Professor Big Shot. That's like a variation of it. No. He's Belly. Belly Ball. There's nobody else we called Belly besides Kyle Lowry. We called it Booty. So.
I mean, Belly could have also been LaMarcus Aldridge. I would have called LaMarcus Aldridge Belly. So I think it's just a lot of a lot of confusion. Why does Bjelica in every picture look like he's in physical pain? Like, he looked like he stepped on a Lego in every single picture that he's in.
He looks like a 10-year-old that his mom's telling him to smile.
Yeah, and like for his yearbook picture. It's like in 5th grade, you get a smile for your yearbook picture.
Can I go play, Mom? I don't want to take a picture with Mickey. I want to ride the rides. He looks like that.
It's great. I'm excited. He's already hanging out with Goran. I saw that Goran and Ariza and
Goran
Belly
gave him a call.
he
said Goran gave him a call, and Belly was excited for it. Look at Goran, like being a European vet hero for these guys.
Leadership.
He's like, man, I'm very excited to play with Goran, and that's my very bad. I didn't even listen to the interview.
Are you canceled? Are you allowed to do that?
I can. I am part.
You're
European.
a Cuban Dominican man. Are you allowed to?
I did a 23 in me. I have a lot of European in me.
Joe Schmid and Smolnik says Oladipo DMP sniffles. So Oladipo is not going to play tomorrow against the Knicks. He's not going to debut. He's going to debut against the Pacers, however. So that is eye emoji.
Are we going to play Are we going to put the championship gold so he can feel at home? He can feel at home.
We got it. Yeah, and also Kendrick Nunn is out with an ankle, so that's gonna. So Belly might start off the bounce. Kind of a weird, Franky. We're in such a weird time where you see Oladipo's out with the sniffles, and my immediate reaction is, well, is this a health and protocols? Like I've never. What is like? Are you head cold? What does that mean, Tim Reynolds? What does head cold mean?
I thought Butchers of Biscayne are trying different things out now.
Did he see Udonis? Is Udonis okay? I haven't heard anything about UD. UD's been gone for a while.
No,
so is KZ.
UD just did an interview.
With the Matt Barnes and the Steven Jackson podcast, which there was a funny clip of sound there where Udonis says that every day Bam tells him, I'm coming for your record. And when Udonis says, whenever I get in the game and I grab one rebound, I go to him, that's one more fucking rebound you better get, motherfucker.
I love that. It's just great. I love that Udonis thinks he gets in the game.
I was like, listen, we are staring down the barrel of Udonis back up 5 minutes in the playoffs.
God. I'm for it. Franky, I don't even care results. Give me Udonis minutes.
Franky, there's a game 7. We're playing a game 7. And they need 5 backup Precious minutes. And Spo doesn't feel like he can get it out of Precious. You don't think it's going to cross his mind. He's going to look down the bench and just be like...
Heart of a champion.
Get in there, UD.
40
Because UD's going to give it everything he has.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be all he has left.
Imagine if it's at home. Frankie, imagine that shit's at home.
Oh, God.
This is
why we need fucking home court.
Man, I can't wait. Like, one thing I miss are the fans, and I think that the league has done good because it's COVID is like very serious and it's very dangerous, and people getting vaccinated and hopefully things are better by the playoffs where we could get like I know that the Heat are planning like a vaccinated only section. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm cutting it off because Carla Tiana just reminded me the nickname. So now it put it in my head. Game 7, he checks in, he takes a huge charge. The other team star player just fouled out. You hear the AAA Haslemberg. Oh my God, I would fucking lose it. We got to get Solana to start that. We got to get Alex Solana. Has started lots of chances at the AAA. He also started a losing streak.
Yeah, he did start the losing streak. We got to get him out of there. We can't blame Ethan for this one. That is 100% on Solana. Get him out of there. That's Stephen A. Smith. Get him out of here. I want him out of here. No business. So yeah, their backup 5 minutes are a huge question mark. It's funny because this trade deadline address, I think we can look back now that the dust has settled. We can look back at they need backup, and like Tiffany says, we need. They need something at backup big now without Olynyk. They address the need for another guard, so I think that they have their guard rotation pretty shored up, and they still need a real 4. Now they don't have a 4, and that's not coming. The need for a power forward will come in the offseason. There's just nothing. There's just nothing out there for them.
Oof.
But if they can get DeMarcus and they can get 7 good minutes out of him, or they can find a big in the buyout market who's available and they can get 7 minutes out of him, or if Precious kind of finds himself, needs to soul search. Precious got to search deep. So I know that Mike Muscala's name was thrown around there. But Oklahoma City never buys people out. That's a cheap ass, that owner's cheap. They'll be like, that's fine, you could stay. We don't care.
This is going back to your anti-Sam Presti.
Chumbucket TV says Rondé Hollis Jefferson. Is he available? Because I listen. I'm all in on Rondé. Huh?
I think he was a free agent. I don't know if he's still.
That's a move that I would like because he's a high energy guy that he's a little undersized and I know that he will exacerbate Miami's rebounding issues. But if you don't have another choice, that guy's played in playoff games.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
I like him. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd go with DeMarcus over him just because there's just a little more upside with DeMarcus. Because DeMarcus might give you a one game in the playoffs where you're just like, oh, like he'll hit like 5 threes or some shit.
I don't know. Rondé will hit that one alley-oop dunk that'll get the FTX arena going.
Slim, Skinny McGee and Chats is so much closer than Rondé Hollis-Jefferson.
I
love him.
I've been a fan, yeah.
I agree. He is undersized though. When I was, he's a guy that looks bigger on TV. Like when I covered a Raptors Heat practice once, I was like, wow, you're not. He wasn't as big. He like was legit like one of the smallest dudes on the court. He's only 6'6". Yeah, he's only 6'6", but he plays.
So is Udonis. We put
heart.
Yeah,
culture, discipline.
Let Rondé play that small ball 5 lineup. Let's do it.
Chat saying my hips. A-Ling 000 says my hipster takes or something else. Yeah, they sure are. Listen. Bjelica's a big body. Ariza's very long, big body. Oladipo's has size in the backcourt that they need. Andre has length, huge wingspan defensively. You know what Jimmy and Bam give you. This team has a little more oomph on defense. And Franky, I said this on our locker room session on Friday with Tiff. I said this on Hangover Time. I forgot it was Friday or Saturday. I'm losing track of days. The door has opened for the Heat. Now, if you were to ask me, Franky, before the trade deadline started, if you asked me on Wednesday, I'd be like, gee, where are the Heat in the Eastern Conference? I would have been like, they're about the 4th best team. I don't think they're at Milwaukee or Philly or Brooklyn's level, but I think they're I think they're like the 4th best team in the conference this year. I think some things haven't gone right, but I think ranking them as 4th is fair. I think they're clearly better than the rest. Get the fuck out of here with Atlanta. The Celtics are a mess. I don't trust them. And the Knicks get out of here with that, right? So like I would have said they're the 4th best team. They've proven it. You know that come playoff time, they have an extra gear. If you ask me after the trade deadline, I'd probably tell you the same thing. I'd probably tell you, well, I like what Oladipo gives them. I think he solves some issues. They didn't really address, I think, in my opinion, their biggest issues. But his upside is so much so that you are clearly better. You didn't give up much for him. You also got Bjelica for guys that didn't play, that were just negatives whenever they did play. So they're obviously better. But I kind of put them about 4th in the East. But my thing is, Franky, with Embiid's health being a question mark, with Kevin Durant's health being a question mark, and all those old guys, by the way, I mean, God knows, if all those old guys
Kyrie
healthy,
too,
that'd be Kyrie. You have the 2 guys at the top, and the Bucks. Listen,
they're the Bucks.
I mean,
fuck them. They're cowards.
The Bucks might be favored in a playoff series, but I mean, we just saw Jimmy be their daddy for 5 games, and like that series wasn't even close. Like, Chris Middleton had to be possessed by the ghost of Kobe Bryant for them to win a game.
One game, yep.
Yeah. So if you ask me, if Oladipo is 85, 90% of his All-NBA season, if Oladipo, in a good environment that he wants to be in, with culture, playing with the most talent he's ever played with, in a reduced role that I think fits him perfectly, with the best coach he's ever played with, if they can get the best version of Bjelica, if this allows Dragic to be 100 to 90% in the playoffs, and if they get a little bit of luck, the door's open for them to get out of the East.
He in 6.
And that's what they bought themselves this trade deadline. They bought themselves a chance because the swing to the fences move, they clearly went for it. Kyle would have changed their math. They couldn't get the deal done. It's hard with Masai and Daryl and all these kind of forces that will. The pivot was quick. It was responsive. It was swift. It was decisive. And they created a chance and have flexibility next offseason. I think they created like 20. I think they're gonna have like $25 million in cap space if they renounce everybody. So that's the chessboard that they're playing with, Franky, and I like that they gave themselves a chance.
Yeah, I think the inflection of new talent and new personnel really could help shake up this roster, this whole thing. You saw, we saw in the Portland game, they came out with guys loose. Not obviously Bjelica and Oladipo haven't played yet, but these trade rumors have kind of been circulating over these guys' heads since the summer, since the Harden rumors, the Beal rumors, all these rumors. the Duncans, the Tyler, all these guys have been playing through it, and they've had their ups and downs all season. And the first chance they get, Portland, they both shoot the ball pretty well. Duncan follows it up with an even better performance. Tyler struggles a little bit, but they still haven't gotten their full roster yet. I'm waiting to see what Depot really can bring to the table. I just want him to be, like you said, play his game, play two ways.
80%, just 80% of what
you want. We don't need you to be a superstar. We don't need you 25-5 every night.
They don't even need They don't need, and not much less All NBA. Depot. Yeah, they don't even need All-Star Oladipo.
We just need competent two-way starter. That's it. That's it. All we need, just fucking play defense, harass guards, harass their best guard, and create turnovers, drive, kick. He averages like 12 drives a game, which we really miss that element of our offense. He's gonna create shots, opportunities, and that it's just a new spark of life, man. This is what
at the rim.
This whole thing of bringing back the same roster, the same rotation, it shit gets old. You guys. The human nature is just, you feel like you're gonna repeat the same thing. You're gonna do it just because you've done it already, and you need that fresh blood. You need that extra motivation of guys who weren't a part of that ride and like, yeah, let's go, let's fucking get it.
Something that stuck out to me, Frankie. I'm watching the Hornets play Phoenix today, and the Hornets obviously down. Malik Monk didn't shoot the lights out today, and they were in a fucking dogfight with the Suns, and those players, that team plays with so much fucking edge. And I was watching that and I was thinking, why don't the Heat look like that? And I understand the Heat roster is a little older, right? The Hornets are younger. The Hornets, are really going for something. A lot of these players haven't really seen a lot of success in the league. It's their first chance. They're building something special. They're fun. They're the darlings of the league. I get that. But the fucking Heat they were staring down at the bottom of the standings, right? And we saw a little bit of fight from them, but they don't have that edge. They don't have that nasty that I think that they had last year, especially in the bubble. And that just really stuck out to me watching the Hornets today. Because even when they come back, Frankie, it doesn't, I don't know, it's just like they came down from that game against the Hornets, and it just, I don't know. I mean, they obviously gave themselves a chance, but they don't like force their will on anybody.
Right.
And I think part of it is they're not a physical team, and that's fine. You don't have to be a physical team, but they just, and they play hard, but I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's just something missing there that's missing. And I don't know if that's what they lost with the Jay Crowder stuff. I don't know if, there's a little bit of air out of your sails when you kind of are at the bottom of the standings, when everybody gets sick. I don't know if it's, I don't know.
I think it's a combination. Jay is a guy like Jimmy that he has that dog mentality like every time. Jay was like the heart of that team, really, because Jimmy is a star. He's expected to do star things, but Jimmy has that dog in him too. But Jay has to be that dog, otherwise he's not a good player. Like if Jay's not gonna get by on just talent. Jay has to be that dog. So they're definitely missing that element. And a lot of the guys have some dog in them, have some grit in them, fight in them. But as personality wise and the grit and grifting that's Jimmy and Jay would bring to the team, when they're not in the game, and obviously Jay's not on the team, but when Jimmy's not in the game, a lot of the guys are kind of just waiting for somebody to lead them. And, whether it be Tyler or Duncan or Bam, these young guys haven't had to be that leader yet. So they're, with Jimmy's in and out of the lineup, it's kind of hurt them in that sense. And Jimmy's, trying to come in and just play his role, play his game. And the guys are just like, all right, Jimmy, save us. Jimmy, save us. Jimmy, save us. Like Tiff says, it's time for Jimmy to put a cape on,
Yeah.
Like we, the guys, as a whole, the whole team needs to have some of that more of that energy and that grift to them that they had in the playoffs, and I think the bubble definitely did help because they were all locked in as a group. And this year that with COVID and how the season's gone so far up and down, they've kind of struggled to kind of get that role, that grit chemistry that they've had. I'm hoping Oladipo and Bjelica can bring that fresh blood and bring some of that back in, and we see some fight. These guys need, it's time.
Nasty.
We need, it needs to be now. These guys need to pick it up and start winning games.
A couple things, a little bit of housekeeping. So BigCon97 says this is what Boogie brings, a little bit more physicality. And I like that because Fat Boy's not going to do that. You know, Fat Boy's a finesse perimeter player. Drummond is he's like the worst big in the NBA. I think the Lakers fans are happy. I'm just like, good luck with that dude. That guy sucks. I'm so happy that he's not. I'm fucking thrilled. I should have opened the show just with the smoke machine celebrating that they didn't get Drummond and Fat Boy. I'm so happy. Shout out to Marco in chat. Greetings, my Paramo boys. You know, I am not fake happy here because they did not get LaMarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond. You know, I think that would help. I think a little bit of a more physical presence would help.
Yeah.
Chat's also saying Aaron Gordon choosing to wear number 50. What a sore loser. Obviously, his dunk contest score. That is fucking hilarious. I will say that is actually funny. That is a petty that I respect.
You should have worn 49.
That is a petty I respect. I want to talk a little bit before we close out because we kind of covered the offseason, the buyout stuff, the trade deadline.
Did we talk Otto? Did we get to talk Otto?
I mean, Otto's a guy that, listen, if Otto's available, that's the guy you go for because
100%.
You also need, they need two things right now. They need a backup big and they need something to play at power forward. Anybody. And Otto fits that bill. Now, Bulls fans, I will say, they hate Otto. Bulls fans say fuck Otto. When I was like, Otto just needs culture, Bulls fans are like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Bulls fans hate Wade, so what the fuck do they know?
Yeah, fuck what? You know, somebody on Twitter said, when was the last time a buyout guy really affected a title or affected the playoffs? And I was like, well, Joe Johnson did, right? Is there another example that I'm missing, chat? Maybe you can help out if there's anybody, a buyout guy that really, really affected. Birdman was a buyout guy, right?
Yeah. Well, not like a pure buyout. I mean, he had his legal issues, but he was like the last guy that was like a midseason free agent that really. I
mean, like Birdman was like, you know what's funny, Frankie? When they signed Birdman, my dad called me and he goes, "Who is this guy?" And I go, "Oh, don't worry, he's not gonna play. He's just another center that the Heat got to put in their center funhouse revolving door." I was like, this guy's fuck. I mean, what's this guy gonna do?
27-game win streak.
Another washed big, and didn't he go like 15 games in the playoffs, not missing a shot?
Yeah, fuck that.
It's crazy.
Love him. I love Birdman.
Dude, those teams were just amazing. Somebody on Twitter who's kind of new to NBA Twitter asked me if I thought the 2013 Heat team was one of the best teams all time. I go, hell yeah, it is. I've never felt more alive in my life.
I fucking love those teams.
So yeah, so some people in chat, some people don't want Otto, some people want Otto. I think he gives them a little bit of spacing as a shooter and a guy that you can throw out on defense. I know that he hasn't moved very well this season. That's concerning. You kind of hope that you get him with the Butchers of Biscayne and they can hopefully Frankenstein him to play better, a little bit move better. I mean, remember these buyout guys, you're mostly picking from options from people that didn't want them.
Scrappy,
right? Nobody's perfect, right? Like there's a reason why these teams didn't keep them, especially like think of the Spurs were in a fucking playoff hunt and they're just like bought LaMarcus Aldridge out, like you know what I mean? A guy that was starting for them and averaging like double-digit points.
Yeah,
you know, reasonably efficient. You know what I mean? So it's like. These buyout guys aren't going to like totally – a lot of the times they're not going to swing your title hopes. You just kind of hope that they can plug some holes, give you a little bit of spot depth.
Yeah.
Wes Matthews was a buyout guy that really helped out the Pacers when he was a buyout guy.
That's
I remember
true.
The Heat really wanted him. So like, there's some times that they change stuff, and other times, you know, they don't pan out.
PJ Brown in 08? Yeah. 08.
We're going back. We're going back, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to go back. Like,
back.
I don't think recent memory – I don't remember the Cavs or the Warriors picking anybody up midseason that really like changed things for them.
Marco says Mike Bibby, but in a shitty way, gave Dallas the title.
That's very true.
Oh, shout out to Dos. Shout out to Dos Piruto. Yeah. So I want to talk before we head out of here. I want to talk about Bam's kind of fourth quarter against the Hornets because to me, there are a couple things stand out from the last two games. One, Duncan put together 2 good games of shooting the ball. Which to me, I look at that shit and I'm like, that's a win, dude. Motherfucker, you better figure things out because their offense needs you. Like they need life, and if he's gonna look good with Oladipo, they are going to. They might figure some shit out. They might not even need Tyler if Oladipo's like a legitimate downhill threat and finishing at the rim, and if Duncan's a guy that's gonna hit shots again, right? And if this is his springboard to figuring stuff out, because he was hitting the shots he was hitting always. It was that handoff play that they ran when they got that 3 to cut it to 2 or whatever it was late in that game, contested tight, but they ran the set that they knew how to run, and he got it, and he looked good. The other thing is Bam taking over the fourth quarter, scored or assisted on like the last 13 points. One of them was jump shot, one of them was floater, another one was twisting layup, and the other one was a handoff assist to Duncan. That's the kind of shit that you look at, Franky, and I'm like, that's the top 10 player that led the Heat to the finals. That guy. Because when he's moved, because he's so fucking fast, he's so agile, he's such a good finisher, he's so smart, he's a threat from so many places on the floor, and as a passer, the game just opens up completely. That was game 6 Bam on full display, and the Hornets couldn't do anything to stop him. So, like, for me, I look at those two things. I look at Duncan finding some life, and Bam being kind of looking for a shot, and I'm like, that's what I want. Those are the things we got to build off of.
Yeah, I think what we've come to learn is that when you draw plays up for Bam to score, he can fucking score. The thing we're trying to get is Bam to just, when it's not straight for him to score, when it's a DHO and the biggest sagging way off, to take that extra dribble and shoot that jumper face up, take it to the cup. That's what we're screaming for more. When they run plays for Bam, when they set him some off-ball screens and get him going downhill, get him going to the post, he can score. He can get real comfortable real easy. Do I wish Spo did that a lot more? Absolutely, because he did that for fucking LeBron James, and LeBron James never had a problem scoring. But you make the game easier for your stars, and that's how you should be. You should get Bam going early, get that inside presence going, and then you can start letting your shooters get going as well. But his fourth quarter performances these last 2 games have been great. Everything that you can ask for from Bam, both ways. And now with the Oladipo trade and the Ariza trade, you have Oladipo, Andre Iguodala, Jimmy Butler, Trevor Ariza, and Bam Adebayo for an all-defense lineup. No more Duncan to trying to cover a shooter. No more Tyler Hero running around screens trying to make a rotation and jumping by guys. You can go all defense with veteran guys you trust. I fucking love this trade, man.
Carlatina saying, I don't count on Duncan. Bjelica me. Listen, you guys are tough on Duncan. Listen, Tiff's hard on Duncan. Hangover Time's hard. I'm a Duncan believer. I don't know why. I really like Duncan. I think he's talented. I give like Duncan the longest rope ever. I believe in Duncan Robinson. I'm here. I'm defending you, Duncan. You could just, maybe podcast a little less. Everybody knows that podcasting isn't good for your podcasting's bad. Just podcasters suck. Listen, take it from experience, Duncan. Schmeathan saying Depot, Jimmy, Bam, Ariza, and Iggy. I mean, you could really throw out some very switchy lineups late. Now, Spo doesn't do that a lot. He doesn't go defense, offense. It's a little frustrating. I do think that Tyler's just going to close. Why are you laughing?
No, that he doesn't make those offensive defense subs. It just drives me nuts. I do think we're seeing that Ariza's been closing a lot recently. And I know Jimmy's been in and out of the lineup, but I feel like Ariza's going to be the guy over Iguodala most nights in the fourth.
Oh, because he provides you the spacing. Now,
yeah.
Charlotte wasn't guarding him in the corners.
Right.
Like that was something that I noticed. I was like, interesting. But he's a guy that can make you pay.
Yeah.
More than Andre, and more consistent.
He's shown a lot more of the dribble game that I didn't know he really could show. He
hasn't looked good, but at least he does.
No, he was second in assists last game. He had 5 assists. He had 9 rebounds, I think it was.
I think Andre off the bounce is a little more
fluid.
Yeah,
but Trevor has a 3-point game that I would trust Trevor every time over Andre.
Oh, for sure, like easily, and just at the size that if a guard is the one that's closing out on him, he's just gonna shoot over the dude.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Franky, so they love Tyler to close. It's been very public how he's played every fourth quarter minute for the Heat.
Leads
games
the
that he's
team.
played. Blah, blah. Jimmy for sure is closing. Bam's for sure closing. So you're 5 and you're 3. Let's pencil in Ariza at the 4. You got Oladipo, and probably Tyler, unless Goran is just scorched earth, right?
Yeah.
Which
I kind of prefer. I think Goran's defense is still way ahead of Tyler's, even as much steps as Goran's lost on that end. But I really like the threat of Goran and Depot together. You have two guys who could ball handle and catch and shoot.
And they won't do dumbass turnovers like Tyler.
Or dumbass defensive rotations.
Like, I think that the Depot thing really makes it so that they don't have to play Tyler late. Now, I've always been a Duncan over Tyler late. I understand why Spo does it. You want the extra ball handler, and you want the guys so when they switch, because late in games, especially very, very late in games, when we're talking about less than a minute left, teams switch everything, right? And you want the guy that can attack off the dribble. I still prefer Duncan just because I think Duncan can force some unfavorable switches that Bam could theoretically exploit. I know they don't go to that often. I wish they did. He screening for Bam as Bam the ball handler has been really good too. So they have options, and I think that it's, I think guys need to know what the fuck do I expect when I'm going into the fourth. Like when it's late in the game, like who are we putting on the court? And I think the Heat at least have an answer. They have 4 answers with the 5th in pencil, right? With that either being Goran, Tyler, or Duncan, whoever's. I mean, if Goran doesn't have it, or if Tyler, whatever. I think that'll be. I mean, maybe Tyler will get the nod over. He's gonna trust the vets. I don't know. They could put 5 veterans on the floor, 4 of which are plus defenders, 1 of which I think can survive. And he's showing you that he can in the playoffs. So I think it's good, man. It's interesting. It sucks that on Monday we're not gonna get that against the Knicks. Bjelica is gonna get his debut probably. That's gonna be exciting to see. It's gonna be exciting to look out for. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Things are looking up. I know that this is the most positive show we can do after they've lost 6 in a row. You know what I mean?
It's good to see you come around on Oladipo. After all season of you shitting on him. No, I'm calling you out. You're not getting off.
No, call me out. Call me out. Listen, call me out. We are here to get me called out. Call me out, dude. Hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. You're Alex Toledo.
So fucking good to hear you say Victor Oladipo is bringing a positive presence to this team, and not this guy sucks. This guy sucks. No, he sucks. He sucks. Like, come on, man. It wasn't even that he was the best. It was never about him being the best option for the team. Like, obviously, I love Victor Oladipo. I've loved Victor Oladipo since college. But if I would take Bradley Beal over him. Of course.
They got my dude on a BOGO.
Yeah, they got him for free. They got him at the thrift store.
Dog, they got him like legit. They got him at the thrift shop. Like Kyle. You had to go. Kyle's a brand name. Shout out to the Deuces, no brands, but you have to. That's Lowry's expensive. You walk into Walmart and you get yourself a designer Oladipo. You don't pay a lot.
I mean, for that booty is Dr. Miami and then some.
Jesus Christ. I would like to end on the heart out, but I would be remiss if I did not cover our Patreon. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Miami Heapy. We are planning our next watch party. Be on the lookout for that. Our locker room sessions that we don't post to the podcast feed because we don't want to flood your feeds. We post them to our Patreon for our patrons. So get that. Our newsletter goes out tomorrow. Jack Alfonso's preparing that. If you are we are accepting patrons to come on Hangover Time and the Weird Al pregame show. So check out. We have a lot of offerings. Franky, what are you laughing at?
Schmeeth and Schmolnick says Kyle's booty gives me a heart out.